from third is Suarez. Goodell comes running in. He's under it, makes the catch. Here's the throw to the plate. It's in the air. He is out! Cameron Rick hangs on! Oh, man, what a play! Deep to right field. Way up there, and way second
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Stupid Money Podcast. Alec here with Sean. Sean, what's up?
Nice little road trip. I mean, can't complain with the overall record.
No,
Hey.
The record's not the problem.
I mean, we can get into that eventually, but it's a win-loss city. I think you're gonna take 7-4 any day, especially when you're playing against the Padres. So it sucks that they lost both games against the Rangers. Who could have saw that coming? Not us.
No. They did the complete opposite of what we said they would do in those 6 games. We're like, take 2 from win both games against the Rangers and then just split with the Padres. We'll be happy. They did the complete opposite, of course.
This is what the Phillies do.
Yeah.
This is what they do. I mean, could you imagine what this would be like right now? Granted, Bryce he's probably out till mid-August, mid-September, probably, hopefully. But could you imagine this road trip if they did win both those Rangers games and Bryce didn't get hurt?
Yeah, I mean, a lot better right now, wouldn't it be?
Yeah, it would be. Is he joining right now?
There's no camera or anything, so I don't know. You have to ask him. Sean's friend is joining us today, by the way.
Yes, we're gonna have a.
Oh, there he is.
Oh my God!
You want me to just put him on now?
Yeah, just bring him in. Him in.
All right, he's in.
Look at this.
What's going on, gentlemen?
What's up?
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I literally look over dude, I come in here. It was actually more on a whim than you think. I look over to my left. I'm in my basement, and my Phillies jersey and my Phillies visor are down here. Must have left them there, so I thought, wow, what better occasion than to throw it on for the pod?
Is that a JT jersey? Is that the JT?
Yeah, the cursed JT jersey. Unfortunately, it is.
Who could have said not to buy that? Who could have said that?
It could have been you, but I'm not going to put that on record.
What a scum. At least it's not the Arrieta.
No.
I was never buying that guy's jersey. I didn't like him when he came here, and I liked him a lot less when he left.
I think everyone did. Yeah. He was bad.
Oh man.
But yeah, no, I don't want to hijack the whole pod here. I'll jump in for a few minutes and definitely talk it out. What are you guys thinking? What are you guys bringing up?
So I mean, we just brought up the road trip and whatnot. The record, pretty good. Obviously, Bryce is hurt. We haven't really got into that, so I guess we could just rip that.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think it's a terrible tragedy, man. I mean, I think I'm serious. I think I really you think about all the times that Bryce Harper that we probably really couldn't have the guy get hurt in his whole time in Philadelphia. It's probably right now, is it not? This is probably one of the most inopportune times the guy could have gotten hurt, and it's just a huge shame. He's playing out of his mind.
Yeah, I mean, Alec brought it up a couple weeks ago, and it's so facts that we've never really seen a hitter in Philadelphia locked in like this since Ryan Howard. And to lose that for maybe 2 months, maybe a year, I don't know. MLB trade deadline or whatever, that account just tweeted out that he's going to require surgery, which I mean that could be 10 plus weeks, and we're talking about mid-September then. And I mean, if the Phillies are out of it, we might not see him, so it sucks.
Yeah, and it also I think really comes down to what what he brings to the team. I just like in general, like him being on the field is obviously very, very good stuff. But I just feel like when he's playing, he's just a little bit more into it, and the team can just rally behind him. And it's just a bummer. I watched the video. I didn't catch the game live, but I saw the pitch obviously, and he's just torn up about it just immediately after. Just having a very emotional response and. It's just tough to see because, I'm just going to put it out there. Hot take. It's not even a hot take, but the claim is being made here on the pod. He's the best athlete in this city. And he's really come to embody the team, embody the town really well. And, it seems like we were really, and again, we joked about this, me and you, Sean, that, I was going to come on and be, very negative about the team, about, because me and Brendan got in a digital altercation in a group chat over, just they won those couple first games in the, that win streak, and everyone's, oh, we're back, and I'm like, this is the same team we've been watching forever, and I just don't like how we're always back, and then we're doing the we're back chant again in 2 months when they suck and then go on another streak. But this is different. I mean, I felt like it wasn't going to be an easy path. Always it's not like we're gonna win 8 of our next 10 for the rest of the year. But I felt like they were trending upward, right? They just had some struggles recently, but I still think they were trending forward. And losing Harper, I don't want to sugarcoat it. It worries me big time.
Yeah, I mean, you worded it perfectly. That altercation that we did get into a couple weeks ago did involve, some voice memories like getting sent in the gym. That's always
Nice.
good when me and Emmett get in those. No one else in the group chat even cares. It's just me and Emmett just going back and forth with each other. But yeah,
that's how it always goes. But yeah, no, it's more like that. But at that point in time, I was a little more angry and just like annoyed. Only because like in the very beginning of the season, like I was making those memes and trolling those pictures of them, like the little photo shoot they got in the beginning of the year, like getting themselves all hyped up, getting the fans all hyped up. And I was like, I just think it's a very good chance this team comes out flat. Turns out they do. They go on a little streak, and it's we're back. And it's all the same people who were going crazy over those pictures. It's just like, I feel like it's Groundhog Day. That's all. But this time and that was annoying me, pissing me off or whatever. But now just like really, I'm just down. It stinks. And especially after the, I guess I'd go second best athlete in the city with Joel Embiid just getting injured in the Sixers playoff run. Like, again, a really inopportune time for one of our really great players on and off the court, on and off the field to get an injury.
Yeah, I mean, for like the Phillies back park, like I want to hear what Alec has to say about this. Like,
yeah.
So we've said, how many years has it been? Just you and me going back and forth, just like how miserable we've been. Just like, just like
5.
It's gotta be since I've known you.
Yeah, like 5 years.
That's how the relationship was built. Just miserable Phillies.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah,
just caring about like the little things about JP Crawford coming.
Yeah, you guys got more strength than me, man.
I mean, it's like I get where you're coming from for like, oh, the Phillies are back. I get it, and I don't want to say like the Phillies are ever back because I don't even remember what the Phillies were like, what it was like for them to actually be good. Like the fact that they were above 500 last year is so fake because they had 2 good players. It's terrible. Like, what do you think, Alec?
I mean, on them being back, I mean, like I texted you this like last night or 2 nights ago, and it's like I was in 7th grade the last time they were good, and it's like I'm now like out of college, like no idea what I'm doing with my life, and it's like I can't trust, like, you can't trust them again until you actually see it long term. Like we keep saying they're back when they win like 7 out of 10 because like it makes us feel good. And then in the back of my head, I'm like, something bad's gonna happen. And then of course, like Harper gets hurt, so something bad does happen. And it's just like you're just sitting there waiting for them to screw up. Like last year in August, they were so hot. And I was like, I wish the season just ended now because I was like, I know how September is going to go. And it went exactly like every other September went for like the past 4 years. And it's just that impending doom feeling. Like you're just waiting for it to get bad. 'Cause it's just all you've known for a decade.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. I think that's exactly how I feel. I think Alex on my side here.
I'm on your side, and you're on my side. There's no sides. There's no sides. It's just like wanting to be miserable 24/7. Or
I get it, and
or only half the time.
Try to grab
it's easy to get excited. I agree. You know, it's like fun. It's like with the Phillies, it's like finding diamond in Minecraft. I mean, you're not going to find a whole ton of it, but when you do, it's a good feeling.
Minecraft in my life.
Oh yeah, maybe I'm a bit of a nerd on both sides, sports and all the other weird, whatever. I don't even know how to exactly phrase that, but yeah, I don't know if anyone's listening out there. They know what I mean. Any Minecraft.
It's a popular
Minecraft players, but yeah, no, and like you said, it's just been so long. And you say like you want the season to end now while they're hot because it's going to be bad. And I feel like in the past, though, it's just been the inadequacy of a whole lot of things, mainly starting with the general managers. I just feel like, the guys that we've had, and of course Middleton as well for his reluctancy to, go into the tax and stuff. But that I felt like the other times it was because there was glaring shortcomings that we all knew were there and knew needed to be fixed and were ignored. And then, when the train starts breaking down, you know exactly why. And that makes you even more angry. This time, at least, it was something a little more freak. Like I said, the Phillies kind of came down from that win streak high. It was an inevitability. But I didn't feel at least that it was like, okay, maybe once or twice I felt, okay, maybe we're going off the rails again. But I thought, I think they're hanging tough and I think they can stick this through and maybe go on another, decent streak and really get things moving. But, with Harper gone, it almost is a shame because it's like the one time where you feel, oh, we're not going to F this up again. We have a whole new issue on our laps, which is an injury to Harper, which is just terrible.
Yeah. All good words. And yeah. I guess like just to keep this podcast moving. I don't know where you go from here. I want to say like you don't give up. Like you want to trade for Andrew Benintendi. You want to trade for somebody like that to hopefully just like be a stopgap until he comes back. But at the same time, like it is Bryce, and it's brutal to replace, and we don't really have the funds to replace him in like prospect wise. So I don't know.
I mean, you got to remember there's a guy on this team who, in some categories, had better offensive numbers than Bryce Harper last year. They had the same batting average. They had the same amount of home runs. This guy had more RBIs. It's kind of on him. It's kind of on him and a Silver Slugger. It's kind of on him to pick up the slack. I know he had 4 hits yesterday, but I need a little more than singles from him. It's kind of what I'm getting at. Like seven home runs, 70 something games in the season for Nick Castellanos is not getting it done.
Yeah, it is crazy. At least Schwarber turned it around. At least so.
Yeah, I mean, big numbers. No, just saying big numbers.
Yeah,
at the bottom there.
Yeah, Schwarber is just, like you said, he's really turned it around. And again, I don't want to mess up the flow of the podcast, but I was reading over just the general notes for today. the question mark of him being an all-star or not. I thought that was an interesting note, because like it was so bad in the beginning. Like I've been to a few Phillies games this year. I think I've been to 5. I'm going again on Wednesday.
Really?
Yeah. So I've been down there a lot this year, and a lot of it was a little bit top heavy in the beginning, and Schwarber was just terrible. So it's like I have all these terrible memories of him. But yeah, on TV lately, he's been a lot more fun. And is it an all-star worthy return? And I guess the break's coming up. When exactly is the all-star? When do they release those nominations? I guess.
I don't know.
The end of the week.
Yeah,
It's at the end of the week.
Is it the end of the week?
Yeah,
Jeez.
because the game's in mid-July. So.
Yeah.
And then they vote
yeah.
for the starters. So they tell you who made the team, and then there's another round of voting that starts like July 1st through the 10th or something for the starters.
And that's what right. And that's why I think that there is a chance it could happen again like this. If he's tearing it up when he needs, like, again, it's baseball. It just is a sport. And you guys know this much more than me. It's just, and I think a lot of people figured it out last year with the Braves. It's just like a game of good timing. A lot like how golf is a game of good timing. Like you see golfers just, they'll win, 2 or 3 majors in 2 years, and then they won't win again for a decade. Like you see this happen in golf, you see it happen in baseball. Like you just get hot at the right time, and all of a sudden it's like the Braves. It was like the Philadelphia Phillies were battling with them for a spot in the playoffs. And when you're battling the Phillies for a spot, you probably wouldn't have been they probably wouldn't have been the front runner to win it all. So I just think maybe if Schwarber like really tears it up during that voting period, yeah, maybe it could happen,
Right now, Schwarber is 13th in the NL for all-star voting for the outfielders, so I don't think he's got a shot.
I will say, I think he's there.
It's that bad.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I people are going to ask him to be in the Derby. I think he ends up there for the week.
I don't know if I want him to do that.
No, I think now that Harper and Segura are out, I actually don't want like a Phillies position player to play in the All-Star game. Like they can't risk one of these guys going down. Like, I kind of hope he does say no if that does come, which I think he will be asked to.
Well, the whole like home run derby jinx, I think Pete Alonso kind of broke that a couple years ago. But other than that, like I don't really want him to do it because like it fucks up your swing.
Yeah,
I just don't even want to play with it. But
there's a couple guys that have gotten hot out of it too.
Yeah, Schwarber. Yeah. I mean, not Schwarber.
Yeah. Soto? Did he? Or was it?
Was it Judge in Miami, and then he went off.
Yeah, it might have been that.
But regardless, like I don't want to see that. But I brought up the Schwarber question mark All-Star because he's leading the NL in home runs with Alonso, and he's like got 48 RBIs. His WAR is like fourth best in the NL, and he's not going to be an All-Star. And it's just everybody, every Phillies fan just sees him coming up, and he's batting .218 right now. But no one sees like the on-base percentage. No one sees the home runs. No one sees every single hit that he has is literally a big hit. Like yesterday against the Padres, hits a double, hits a home run, bang. That's why they won, just because of him. And it's just like he needs to be appreciated like that because we haven't really had a leadoff hitter in Philadelphia in a while, and his on-base percentage is 340 right now, which is incredible with a .218 batting average.
Yeah, no, like I said, it's been very enjoyable as of late. And, the .218, I think it's not entirely indicative of how he's been playing lately, obviously. Like, what was it, a couple months ago? Like, it was it was rough. I remember seeing that on the Jumbotron and just being like, oh, my God. At those games. And again, to the All-Star thing with I think it's interesting you bring up like the home run derby and stuff like that, and not wanting to see a position player in the MLB All-Star game. And I just think it overall, it kind of shows that all like the All-Star fun, that the home run derby, you're even seeing it in other sports. Obviously the Pro Bowl, but now even, the NBA dunk contest, I think has become a victim of it too. It's like, no one wants to do this shit anymore. I think it's like, I think it's happened with just the way players have kind of started to see themselves as kind of a brand. It's like, oh, it's a business, right? The franchises, the league, it's a business. I think these players are all seeing themselves now as mini businesses, and I think that's just overcome evolved over the last few years just with how things have gone. And yeah, it's a shame because it's kind of taken the fun out of stuff like that. Not entirely. Like, you still see some awesome stuff and guys, come out and do it. Especially the home run derby, I don't think is nearly as bad as the dunk contest. I think the dunk contest is close to getting rendered kind of irrelevant soon. I think that's going to be soon. But yeah, the home run derby is still like an awesome time. But I wouldn't be surprised if that's the kind of the trend we start seeing. Like with the home run derby, which is a shame because remember like being a kid and watching the home run derby, like when Ryan Howard was in it, and
Prince Fielder.
It was always a really, really fun thing to watch as a kid, and I understand it. I understand the trend, but it's also a shame. It's the same with the dunk contest. Like, to not see Zion Williamson in the dunk contest, it almost doesn't make sense. But in this day and age, it's just how it is.
Yeah. You brought up a good point, Emmett, a couple minutes ago about the Braves, and I guess it's something that, like, the Phillies could do. Just trade for a bunch of veteran, contract players that are just going to be free agents in a year that teams are just looking to unload to give up, like, a somewhat decent prospect like Rafael Marchand or something like that. I guess you could do that. Playing with fire a little bit there, that nothing, and then you just get the farm system even more. But I mean, we have seen it. Like the Braves, they didn't get over 500 last year until what, August last year?
Yeah. Like I said, battling with the Phillies.
Yeah, they were.
They were battling with us.
The Mets were actually up there, and then they traded for Baez, and then they just fell off a cliff.
And the Braves did it without their best player.
Yeah.
Like it really was. It's really. I think it's more astonishing than people talk about. But yeah, I mean, let's not give the Braves too much credit. This is a Phillies podcast.
Yeah, true. Yeah. But like,
no. I'm just making a joke.
We respect baseball here.
Yeah. Oh, of
for
course.
the most part,
and I do too. But it's like, I was just making a joke. That's all.
I don't even think the Phillies have been good enough in the last 10 years to even like consider anything a rivalry. Like, I hate the Mets, hate them, but I just hate the fans. Like,
would you not consider 500 the rivalry?
The revolving door of 500 for the Phillies.
I had to make that joke with someone was asking me, they're like, do you think Penn State basketball has a rival? And I was like, yeah, the tournament. And like that made me think of that.
How about, and the year they made it,
we got canned. We got canned, bro. COVID.
Yeah, it's like unreal.
Fuck that, bro.
Yeah, that is funny, dude. And I think one thing too you mentioned, then I'll I guess duck my head out, but you mentioned you called someone out, Alec, very directly, who I think deserves it, and it's Nick Castellanos, who is more famous these days for memery and clownery than he is getting the job for the baseball team. And that's just I mean, and I like Nick, and I don't think it's not like a we got the wrong guy feeling from me. I don't know if for you guys, but I think I'd maybe have to watch him a little closely. But I do think his demeanor is a little worrisome. But I think again, it could be I think it's just a slump, and I don't think we've really seen how fired up he can get. And like I said, maybe it'll, with the runs and stuff, maybe it'll come at the right time a little later on. And like upon Bryce's, now I'm just fantasizing, but upon Bryce's return, Castellanos turns it on and maybe we can make a push.
Yeah, I feel like they do need something to kind of light a fire under Castellanos. Like, I was kind of hoping they were maybe again in like a pegging war yesterday, throwing at people on Sunday, and like he would get hit and it would get him fired up. Because like I've said this on past podcasts too. He just looks so much different than when he was with the Reds. Like he buttons his jersey all the way up now. Like it's a lot quieter. And like his boy Jesse Winker started an entire brawl yesterday. And I'm like, I said to my brother, I'm like, you know who he learned that from? Castellanos. Like he taught him everything he did yesterday. And it's like, I want to see that kind of here. Now we don't need him suspended for like 5 games, but
Yeah.
just to get something like going with him, because it just feels like he's going through the motions all the time.
He's not a guy that smiles. He's never been like his press conference when he signed. Like someone asked him like a joke of a question, and he answered it with a straight face, saying, "I don't have a college degree. I just hit baseballs." Something to that effect. And like the guy, when he's going through struggles, like he's not going to crack a smile, nothing like that, which I can kind of respect. And I think he's like such a Philly athlete for that. But, you know, being a Philly athlete, you also got to produce, and he's not. So
No.
it's tough. But I mean, you still got to trust the back of the baseball card. He's too good to be this bad. So
yeah, I agree, and I think like, and this may be a wild claim, but I do think he reminds me of a much toned down version. Obviously, I don't know if you guys are Benchwarmers fans as I am, but he reminds me of Carlos from Benchwarmers. You remember Carlos from Benchwarmers?
yeah.
Not nearly as much of a troublemaker, but that IDGAF attitude that Carlos has, it reminds me of Castellanos, however you want to say it. But that I just feel like, you know, I don't know, maybe just capturing the bag or just, you know, not in it for the wrong reasons. Kind of like how Carlos was in that baseball game in the Benchwarmers for the wrong reasons. You know, he should have never been there. Not that Castellanos shouldn't be here, but yeah, like you said, it's. I think you guys are putting it pretty plainly, and the way it needs to be said, it just needs to be more. I don't know what it is that's going to pick it up, but it's got to pick it up.
Yeah. It's not just him though. Like Hoskins needs to be consistent. Gregorius needs to like hit a ball to the outfield.
Yeah. Well,
Rio Muto maybe got going, so I'm gonna cut him a little bit of a break, but he's one that needs to be more consistent too. It's kind of like those 3 guys.
Yeah,
can make this a lot less of a problem, and Bone too.
Right, and well, now we're just naming the whole lineup, but
well, they've all been kind of underperforming in a sense.
I
outside
agree.
Of Schwarber.
No, you're right. No, because you're right, and it's just making me nervous because now it's like, oh, and he could be better, and he could be better. And it's like, okay, maybe we're not as good as I think, but no, and with Hoskins, you know, I don't mean to be down on the guy, but I think we've seen Rhys Hoskins for what he is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's not a bad thing, but it's a lot better when he's not. Like, again, I think he's a big play guy. Like you were saying about Schwarber, he's a, you know, his hits are big hits. His moments are big moments. Like, that stuff is super, super valuable. And when a baseball is going 100 and, you know, or 95 miles an hour down the pipe, you know, with that kind of pressure on the line, there are players that can separate themselves, and Schwarber is obviously one of them. It sometimes is luck, and most of the time it's not. And, you know, Schwarber's one of those guys. He's a world champion in the sport. And I just think you got to mix that in with more consistency from guys like Castellanos or, like you said, Rhys Hoskins. I think it's more a Castellanos thing than Rhys, because we just need consistency. We need guys like you need that, like baseball, sport of that's very much become about stats. You need that like almost bankable run support, and like getting guys in, and then you have the Schwarber to make the big play, and you have, you know, even Hoskins to, you know, maybe have a big hit, and then you can rely on your more consistent guys to kind of just carry that, you know, that load for the team. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about that, because I feel like the middlemen, like the important role players, the always, and I think they're more important than him, but I'll say an important role player I always thought was big in the 08 Philadelphia Phillies championship team was Jeff Jenkins. I mean, the guy was all energy. He had a couple big hits. He did his job. Now, again, Schwarber and Hoskins, Castellanos, they're bigger than that, but still, it's that type of idea. That guy who's just going to put the ball where it needs to be when it needs to, like, or like Matt Stairs, someone like that.
What a pull! Just Jeff Jenkins out of the dome. How about that,
dude? Jeff Jenkins
came out of nowhere.
He was the man, dude. And maybe not the best example, but he was the guy that came to mind for whatever reason.
Yeah. I mean, I compare Schwarber more to like a Shane Victorino, but
and that's much more fair. And like I said, I was trying to make it clear, like they're more important than that, than a Jeff Jenkins role. Just that idea of making your moments count.
Right. All right, we got 9 minutes remaining. What else do we want to get into here?
I mean, I'll throw something out there. I did, and go ahead. What were you saying,
Alec? What were you saying?
No, I mean, I was reading off what you said. I don't know about trade options. I thought we're gonna finish with that. I don't know if you want to do that.
Yeah, let's finish with trade options. I'm not trying to. I was just. There was a little bit of contemplation, and I was like, oh, what? Maybe I'll jump in. But go ahead. Let's talk about that.
All right, go ahead, Gal. Go ahead. What do you want to bring up?
Where do you want me to start? I mean,
we already brought up
Benintendi. So I mean, we kind of went through. I mean, Benintendi. What about? Do you like Michael A. Taylor on the Royals too? He could play center more than Benintendi can.
Okay, yeah. Benintendi's more of a corner outfielder. Michael Taylor. I mean, he was the guy with the Nationals, right?
Yeah,
he was bust. But I mean, if you're trading with the Royals, we got to be getting Scott Barlow. Just got to be getting him.
Yeah, that too.
You need a reliever.
Yeah,
so badly you could just lock down. So I guess I wouldn't mind Michael A. Taylor. He'd probably be nothing. It would cost him like Mickey Moniak probably straight up for him. That might be too much, honestly.
It might be. I don't know. That actually would kind of be a lot. I feel like I could take James MacArthur or something.
I was bringing up Meadows. Like they almost traded for him in the offseason. Like,
he doesn't have a home run this year, dude.
Yeah, well, he's also been hurt. Like it's just,
all right. I think they need somebody who could play center, though. Like I think someone with the ability. I mean, Aaron Judge could play center, so
he's in a
go
few.
Get him. Yeah. They're not gonna pay him. Just send him over. Judge for Moniak, little cap relief.
I don't really have the trade options for like center.
No. I mean, I even thought like an infield one could work because Segura's out too. Like if you go after Brandon Drury on the Reds, you could put him at second, and then the first one of Segura or Harper to come back. If Segura comes back, you could kind of make Bohm the DH or Hoskins the DH a little more and put Drury on third or first. Like, I think they could also get creative using an infielder, too. I don't think it has to be strictly an outfield bat that they bring in, if they do bring in one.
Yeah, I like that. Trading for an infielder would be interesting because there's so many that we have, technically.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting Scar back. We already have Didi. We have Stott. We have Bohm.
Where's Maton?
Maton. Yeah, his shoulder. Like
he went from he just needs to sit a couple days to a month later, and they haven't said his name.
I thought he broke his shoulder when he dove for that.
He must have, and they're just not saying anything. I don't know. I don't know.
He's in the dugout, so like it's
just weird. That one's weird. I don't know.
We'll save the reliever talk for next week because that was supposed to be our homework. And I did do it, but we only have 5 more minutes here. Emmett, what else do you want to talk about here?
Well, I will say I'm reading the ticker here that's running across the bottom of the podcast, and calling Snell a scrub. That was a good adjective there to describe the fella. So, good. Those are the kind of details that matter. I was going to bring up because I think I've been, I don't want to say hard on him, but I wasn't as easy on him when a lot of people were. and I saw him in the notes, is our ace, Aaron Nola. I don't know if you guys brought it yet, but you there was some sort of diatribe like you'd fall on your grave for him. Who's that? Who's falling on the grave? That's you, isn't it, Brendan?
Hey, that's me.
That's my life. You've written all over it. And I'll say this. I agree with you that Aaron Nola is good. Now, I think that's like a controversial statement in general, considering what he did for us years ago and what he's done for us maybe in the more recent years. But I do agree he's good. I mean, I took a look. I was taking a look at some of his stats, and like he's hovered around 3, a 3 ERA, kind of. Also, he's not great, not really spectacular in any way. And what's his ERA exactly now? Is it high 2? Is it 2 something?
I don't know. I mean, he had a rough couple starts to begin the year, and then after that, once he got hot out, that's Nola weather. And
exactly, like he's hovered in a good spot, and like you said, he's solid. And again, maybe he might not have been like the greatest thing that we might have expected him to be. Like, I feel like who I feel, and this is the rest is still unwritten moment. But I do think we're going to be able to draw comparisons to him and Carter Hart as, 2 players that came here, played really well initially, and then have solid careers as good pitchers for the good goaltender for the team. I don't go on.
That's an asinine thing to say. That Carter Hart might be out of the league in a couple years, bro. Like Carter Hart.
I said, the rest is still unwritten. And the way that
Aaron
Nola
Nola
was pitching for a while, I felt the same way about that.
Aaron Nola's a Wall of Famer for the Phillies. He's like one of the best pitchers that we've had in the last 3 decades.
Yeah.
And Carter Hart's
how many years has Aaron Nola pitched here?
He's been since 2016, I think it was his rookie year.
No, not 6. I think it's earlier than that.
Yeah, he was.
It might be 14.
So yeah.
Yeah.
He was drafted in 13.
14.
Right?
We're talking Wall of Fame Philly here,
dude. Hector Neris is a Wall of Fame.
I don't. Okay.
He is.
All right. They in a couple years. All right. In 10 years, they might run. They might be a little low on options, but
they're low this year. Did you see?
I don't know who these guys are that they're putting in. Why isn't Cliff Lee in? Where's Cliff Lee? Where'd he go? He gone? Dude. Yeah. Put him in or something. What are they doing?
Yeah.
No one knows who these guys are.
Cliff Lee is a lock, obviously, even though, he had a great career here. He wasn't here for too long. I mean, I guess Nola's Wall of Fame. I mean, Jesus.
There's no debate. There's no debate.
Okay, fine. I guess right. Put it this way: we're a franchise that's been good for 16 years out of 190 million. So, how about
pretty much? Yeah, that puts it well. I'm gonna close this out here because we're gonna be out of time. So I just want to say good for Mark Appel. He made the majors. Didn't pitch yet, but happy he made it. Good for him. He deserved it, I guess. He stuck with it. He'll be the final out of the World Series this year. So
sure.
There we go.
All right. My final thought: Trey Turner's a Philly. I'm Sean.
I'm Alec.
And I'm Emmett, fellas. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
You guys have a great whoever's listening.